What's good? What's good? We back live from Fayettenam. How y'all doing, fellas?
All right, all
Cooling,
right.
man.
Peace, peace,
Okay,
peace.
Can y'all hear
that's
me?
what's up. Yeah,
Heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good, good.
Big Face couldn't make it. He's at the bare knuckle fight tonight, so and whatnot. Before we get started, I wanted to say rest in peace to DJ Mark 45 King.
Yeah, no doubt.
Indeed. Indeed. You mind if
900 number.
ah oh
Any
peace.
anybody want to say anything about Mark the 45 King before we get into the topic?
Hey man. Uh if don't nobody mind, I'll go off.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Uh First of all, I didn't know the man, I didn't know the brother personally, but I can't say, in the past 5 years, I actually had some real good interaction with him on Instagram. The brother would show up and he'd just be playing beats and he tell stories about some of the beats that he made. And the brother's very important. Very important. He's one of those I don't even I to call him a hip hop producer, I think that's limited. But
Hmm.
I could just say Queen Latifah, Wrath of My Madness. I can say Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life. And I can say Eminem, Stan. And everything else is in between. The dude is large. He
Oh, he
made,
did. He did stand. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
yeah, he did Stan. Yeah, and
Okay.
but he's a but I mean, but Stan, that for me as a listener, as a hip hop head, Eminem came later. But I go back to Queen Latifah. It's like din 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 din. That was him. Latifah's getting down, prepared to go all the way. That's him. You know, doom
That's fine.
doom 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 doom. That's him. And so
Yeah. Shout
peace,
out,
peace to that brother.
shout out to 45 King. Like I said, I don't really, I'm not know a whole bunch about him, but I'm familiar with his work, man, and I look up to people like that. People like him, Lord Finesse. You know what I'm saying? People that really be digging in the crates. He's one of those originals, man. So shout out to him. He's a legend just off of Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
Doom
Yeah.
doom doom. Sorry to
I
be
mean,
irritating,
and
but
if
that's
anybody
his.
remembers, Yo on TV raps every time, what I'm saying? Ed Level would do that
I forgot.
dance every time he throw on 900 number.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
That's him.
You know what I mean? And I definitely got to go back and listen to Stan because I didn't even, I got that album. I didn't really think about that one or Hard Knock
Um,
Life. I didn't
well,
really even
you know
think about that.
that caught me by surprise when it came out. Because I wasn't even looking at the credits, but yeah, that's him. And it's crazy because the artist that he sampled is like the song that like really came out like the same year or a year before he
Yeah, that
sampled it.
sample the Dido. Yeah,
There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was him too. So yeah,
So
incredible
for those
brother,
who didn't
man.
know, DJ Mark 45 King produced Stan. You heard it live on Fayettenam. So live from Fayettenam. You
Man,
heard
10
it.
million people, 10 million people already heard it, man.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know. Me and
I
Kaz
don't.
didn't know.
I
So
don't think that's common knowledge. I don't think. I don't think that
yeah.
that song, that production
it
credit,
should
is
be.
common
It should
knowledge.
be.
Yeah.
Like a hip hop history class that should be common knowledge, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip Hop Jeopardy
All
is
right. So
coming.
Oh yeah. Got
Mr.
to.
J, Mr. J sent me this tweet. and he wanted to talk about this tweet he sent. And I guess the tweet sums it up. It says, "Want to know why sales drop drastically? Look at the BET Awards." Mr. J, I'm gonna let you start this.
Can you repeat that again?
Not Jones, Mr. J. It says,
No, no, no,
want to
no.
know. Okay.
I'm not trying to answer. Can you repeat that? Would you say?
Want to know why sales drop drastically? Look at the BET Awards.
Okay.
Well, basically, the cat who said it was used to be known as Sean Dawn. He's a part of the whole Little Brother Circle. He goes by Phineas Saint Omer, um, and he was basically saying, if you got a chance to look at the BET Awards, you saw the drastic difference between the performances, the music from one generation, the founders and the the OGs to the new breed that's out now, and you see the crowd reaction. You see how, when LL came out and did his thing, everybody's out of their seat. Everybody's moving around, everybody's into it, from the young to the old. The new cats come out, even saying the baby who's from here, people aren't necessarily out of their seat. They're kind of in their seat. They're kind of moving back and forth. They're not really into the show. The performances, the energy is completely different from one person to another. Even to Jermaine Dupri, to songs that were basically not even, well, not 20 years old, probably maybe about 15 years old at this point. They come out and he's doing Welcome to Atlanta. He's doing even the stuff that people kind of frowned on, like the pop and the snap music and stuff. And still, the energy is different. The energy in the room is different. Even when we have some people complain about rapping over tracks and things of that nature. He had maybe one or two tracks that he rapped over. Even when he rapped over those tracks, the energy is still different. So it's like basically, if you're going to do a show, if you're going to perform, the energy has to be different. The energy has to be larger than your single. And it doesn't seem that way for, at least to my eye, to some of the young cats that are coming out.
Hmm.
Well, what did he try to sum up of the reason for that? Was it just the
I,
energy?
I think it was the performances. It's really the performances and the music. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like, when people come out, they're just kind of walking around. They kind of got the thing set up a little bit, so you have the dancers, but even the dancers are not as energetic as you would think it was supposed to be.
Anybody else want to chime in or agree with that or disagree with that?
It's hard for me to chime in because I didn't see the BET Awards. But I've
Mm-hmm.
seen a lot of shows. People seem to have like some very creative and intensive shows nowadays. Like I said, I didn't get to see the BET Awards. But
Or
I mean,
just
I think
I come from the backpack era. Like I want to go to a show. I want to see a nigga just walking around on the stage rapping. But from what I've seen, like people like Doja Cat, Cardi B, they seem to have people like pretty like extensive shows. I don't know. I didn't see the BET Awards though.
I
now, but he was
this
talking about
is
the sales in general, though, right?
yeah, just in general, the shows and stuff like that,
but
that are coming out.
I think sales. I mean, on some level, we want to blame sales on like changes in the industry and like how things are different from CDs and it's like a digital era. But I mean, you still got people like Taylor Swift and Beyonce selling millions of records. So I mean, there's a connect somewhere with the fans. You know what I'm saying?
I think I think I think that's where the question is going as far as sales. Just my opinion. I found it weird. I think it was like last week I saw Juicy J post a video. Juicy J said, "Hey, rap hip hop sales are down 40%. What are we gonna do about it? And just me personally, I'm like, I don't even listen to what y'all playing on the radio. So why you coming to me with this video? Like you coming to the hip hop community? Like, what we gonna do about the sales? I'm like, yo, man, we all don't listen to the same thing. You know, I'm a man. I'm a brother of a certain age. You know, when I was hearing Wu Tang, I was hearing SWV. When I was hearing SWV, I was hearing In Vogue. When I was hearing In Vogue, I was hearing somebody. You know, it's like as much as I love music, I still see what the radio was doing. Don't ask me why the person that I really don't listen to ain't selling as much records anymore. Y'all ain't even playing the cats that I like to listen to. Not even one of them. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole ain't got one radio song. You don't.
Shit, that one
I,
shit with that song with Little Dirk, man. I mean, that shit
no,
was
no,
playing like
but
non-stop, yo.
no.
Uh,
But what I'm saying
Is it?
is, it
you
ain't.
talking about that? You talking about the real J. Cole shit?
No,
Yeah, I
no,
know what
no,
you're
no,
talking about.
no, no, no. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about that song. I like that song, but it's not on the radio. They ain't
That shit
drawing
was on the
me
radio
in.
fucking crazy, yo.
Oh, word! I don't listen to the
That
radio
little
enough.
Dirk
All
shit
right,
was on the radio crazy. Hell yeah. That
but
was
it's
one of them
like,
songs where it's like you couldn't go 15 minutes without hearing it. But you're right, like you don't hear like Matic on the radio and no shit like that. I ain't
no,
gonna lie. Yeah.
you don't. You know, I'm just a dude from a certain age. I'm not coming out here. You know, man, I got a niece and a nephew. I love them. 13, 9. 13 and 9. Oh, they listening to some stuff. 14. All right, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
And
And I mean you
and
really gotta give it to them because people like Travis Scott and them, man, they ain't got no problem getting no plays. They ain't got no problem
man,
getting no plays. They ain't got no problems like selling out no shows. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, the people that we checking for, you know, the game is just like different nowadays. You know, they may
it's
not be.
but even you know 47. Go back to 96. You got you got everything. There's a variety. It's like a real buffet going down
Yeah.
of music. And if you think one song is trash, or not even just you, but if people don't want to really hear that song no more, it gets pushed to the side. But there's no, I don't know. Maybe my ears are different, but there's not really much
Can I chime
variety.
in? Can I chime in?
Please,
Okay.
man, take
I
take the
think
mic.
partially is sales are already inflated,
One
but
hundred
there's
percent.
so many,
They fake, completely fake.
Hmm.
yeah, like 80, you got 100,000 songs being released on a daily. 80% of those are rap songs. 84% of the bots streams are rap. So they're inflated. Then I look at there's an oversaturation. There's so many options. How many times am I gonna go to the baby or the little baby show when I might not went to the little dirt show yet? There's just so many options out there. There's just so many. There's just too many options. I don't think like artists
Yeah.
are gonna stay selling tickets forever unless you got a fan base like a J. Cole or a Kendrick or a Tech Nine or somebody
Hmm.
of that nature. And there's levels to the fans. There's fans, there's fanatics, and there's super fans. They're the cat that a super fan is the person who will go get the free phone with the Jay-Z music on it and still
Check,
go buy the Jay-Z album
check.
afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Get the T-shirt.
And
So
I think we don't take
But
into account of the level of fans too sometimes.
I think that's a big part of it. Like you said, back in the days with the music, especially with the hip hop, it was like so exclusive. Like like hip hop was it was like a culture, and it was like almost like a counter culture or a subculture. There wasn't a lot of it out there. So you had to choose like Wu Tang or some West Coast shit. Now it's just like so overly saturated. Like it's too much shit out there. Like you said, 80%. That's why when you got people like Taylor Swift can build a fan base like that because it ain't a lot of Taylor Swift out there.
Oh,
Well, I think
It's
too.
yeah,
that's her lane. She got
yeah,
her lane.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
I think to Jones's point, you know, people have their lane, and the reality is we don't have enough diversity. You know what I'm saying? There's an oversaturation of a lot
yeah,
of trap rap, stripper
yeah.
rap, and the lyrical doesn't get as much play or as
So
much
the, and then
support.
they turn R&B into trap, and then they got the new thing Afro beats, which is basically Afro beats is they put Caribbean music over trap beats, and it's like you said, it's just. And then like I said, you have to do something different. Even back in the days with hip
Mm,
hop, it was different. Like
mm.
Yeah.
Wu Tang was different than the Tribe. The Tribe was different than NWA. I
Did
mean,
it?
now it's just like
Talk about it. It's
it's one in a million now. Like it ain't no reason, like you said. And even those shows are interchangeable. Those artists are like interchangeable. Like you go to one show, you went to all of them. You're like, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, and
Basically.
no disrespect to those people because those people are in this culture right now.
yeah.
They're controlling this culture right now. They doing a thing, but it's just a different place. This is a different time, and
Yeah, we just need
And
more balance. Need more balance.
also, I would also say the American market is a harder market to please. Like overseas, you get a lot more love. Everybody gets a lot more love overseas. It doesn't matter if it's the new school artists, the old school artists. Everybody gets more love overseas. It's a really harder market to please. I think the American market. A lot of haters in America. A lot of haters.
Well, I think that we have a lot of corporate control too, so they
That
determine
too.
a lot of what's going on. I mean, um, I read something about one of the companies basically having a major control over Spotify and all these other things.
yeah,
Um, and in Europe, since I've interviewed artists from Europe and hip hop artists specifically, they just have a greater appreciation for lyrics. Yeah, they like some of the trap stuff and stuff like that, but it's because some of that more so now is getting fed to them. So but you feed them lyrical content, they love it all day long, and the MCs seem to reflect it on for the most part.
My headphones done cut off on me. Y'all hear me all right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We hear you.
All right, word. I feel what you're saying. I just don't think it's a shame that that's been a real thought for a lot of years now. We got people like Public Enemy. We got people like Naughty by Nature. They will go overseas and rack up, rack up.
That's good for them, yo. Real good for them.
That is, it
Yeah,
is. But it's like they can't even rack up in their hometown like that.
yeah,
That's real weird. It's real weird to me. You know,
Which makes no sense to this topic because we're talking about Jermaine Dupri comes out and does the show, and I watched the Jermaine Dupri performance. It was amazing. He brought everybody out,
you know
and
what?
then you can't get that same love outside of that performance inside of this market. It's really crazy. It baffles me. You know.
You calling a person like me out? You calling me out? Cause I didn't like my brother. I didn't watch the awards. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
This is like the first BET Hip Hop Awards I didn't watch. I came home from work. I wasn't even aware it was on until the next morning, and everybody showing clips. And but I saw that Jermaine Dupri clip, and I'm gonna be honest. I mess with Jermaine on certain levels. But man, I saw that clip. I was like, oh shit, yeah, he did. He
yeah,
did. He did.
yeah. But I'm
You
gonna be honest
know,
with
he
you.
did.
I,
When I like,
I,
oh snap, you know. But yeah, you're right. But It's crazy, man.
On some real shit, I wish I would have seen the BET Awards, especially like you said. I'm guessing they gave Jermaine Dupri like some like lifetime Vanguard type of award because he's had an awesome career that spanned from like the Beat Street days up until now. He's been making hip hop hit records, but for some reason, like I said, I didn't have like a lot of interest in the awards. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't, but it's crazy. I do remember that night. I watched the red carpet. They had like Mav Hoffa was like live doing the red carpet on YouTube,
Oh, what?
and
What?
I watched that. But even with that, I didn't know 90% of the niggas that was on the red carpet.
Yeah, I don't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't. The only reason I keep up with it is really because I interview a lot of different people,
Hmm.
and I try to stay in tune with what's going on.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's hard to keep up with it. It's hard to, like I said, it's really hard to care about it because the diversity is just not there.
yeah,
Or it's not at the forefront, I should say, because
yeah,
there are lyrical people. There's a cat I think out of South Carolina named Nick Grant. He's like a lyrical cat. Um, it's there are people, there's pockets, but it's just not at the forefront, and that's the problem. Like, I watched that award show, and of course it's going to be on probably about 50 million times. If you got cable, if you got bootleg, whatever, you can find it. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of peep you know what I'm talking about, and you'll be able to see a difference too because they're supposed to be having a Grammys celebration of 50 years of hip hop. I think it's supposed to come out December 10th, and you'll be able to see the difference in the performances and the energy and just generally you know what people are talking about because it's just different. You see the crowd reaction, and the crowd reaction is just so different from one person to the next.
I was like, I mean, I'm like anybody else. There was a time where it's like, I'm fortunate enough. I came up in the days of the Source Awards. I think they only did that for like 2 years though.
Yeah,
But
too much
Source
drama.
Awards.
I think
I
there
love,
was only two on
but
TV, but I think there was like a couple of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, a
but
couple of them before that.
it was like just two. But I love the Source Awards. But Grammys, American Music Awards, and then we got to the BET Awards. This is my first time. Like I didn't, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. But they had some good stuff going on though. They had some good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I t-
Every
I try
no,
not to
go ahead.
place myself in like I know what time it is. Like I assume like me watching the VMAs. Like I remember me watching the MTV Awards, and I remember like Snoop Dogg performing like "Murder Was the Case" and like how geeked I was, or like what I'm saying, like you said, watching the Source Awards and how geeked I was. I assume that's the same way it is now for somebody that's like 15 years old to be watching like NBA YoungBoy on there. I mean, I'm assuming it's the same type of like energy that they have, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying, to be honest. But I was geeked back then watching that shit, so I assume so.
I assume
Uh,
it's kind of 50-50 because, like I said, the young folks they wasn't up out of their seat. Even for the newer cats, they weren't up out of their seat. They were just you
um,
know,
Yeah,
kind of
hey,
vibing.
yo,
I guess it's a different world. But
yeah,
can I,
a quick
can I,
aside before I let you get to your point.
go
I,
ahead.
I really check BET awards. I mean the BET Hip Hop Awards specifically for the
Right.
ciphers. Just really strictly for the ciphers. That's what I check it
I
for.
didn't, I didn't watch one of them yet, and I know they got the clips up there. I just haven't. No, not the clips, but I know they got the clips of the cipher. I haven't watched one yet.
And didn't Rain, wasn't he on the BET Awards one year?
A couple years for the URL fight thing and for one of the ciphers, I believe.
And I
yeah. And he
specifically
he was on a
remember a
couple
lot of
years.
people standing up. I remember a lot of people standing up for Rain
That
when
shit
he
was
like
lit. That was especially that one year where like all of them niggas
the
like
Joyner Lucas share. It was the Joyner Lucas share.
well, I mean, he did a couple of them. He even did like a couple of those ciphers. But you remember, it was one year where it's like all of the URL niggas was up there going in. That shit was crazy. And like you said, it was lit that year. It was real lit that year.
We had a few.
Yeah.
Representation from North Carolina. We had him. We had T Top and
Yeah,
another cat. That's I
Who's
guess he
T
was
Top?
from. T Top is a rapper out of Raleigh.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm. Oh, that's where I'm
Not
at. All
familiar with
right.
that.
yeah. And I think there was another cat. I want to say he was from here or from around here or something like that. But yeah, it was a few cats that year from North Carolina. So we had some North Carolina representation that year.
Well,
That's dope. That's
let's
dope.
let's take it to Fayetteville. Let's take this discussion of Fayetteville. Why do you think only one rapper sold out Fayetteville? The Crown
What do you
Coliseum.
mean? One?
J. Cole. Isn't J. Cole the only rapper that sold out the Crown Coliseum by himself?
I'm.
Because it's
Uh.
I think it's a huge disconnect, and I think that's actually like a problem. Like, I wish I could help with it. That ain't really what I do, but I think it's a disconnect with like people that's like promoters. Like, I mean, in a typical situation like that, I mean, there's supposed to be some kind of promoters that's like, like in charge of like, putting together shows and like building community events, and we don't see that a lot
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, like the way we should. You know what I'm saying? But
Definitely.
Uh.
I wonder that same thing myself a lot.
And
Hey.
I think
Oh
it's the
man. I
investment.
One
It's
feel
at
the
a
that.
time.
investment
One at a
dollars.
time.
I feel that. Mm. I feel
Go ahead,
that.
Jay.
I said it's definitely investment dollars. Like he had, he was on a major label, and they put that kind of money behind him, and he was doing, a movie at the time. So or a special. It was the HBO special at the time. So it kind of helped propel a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, that was dope. I remember that.
My perspective. My wife is she's from Raleigh. That's where we at. But we was living in Bonnie Doon, and her birthday was coming up, and I was like, Eddie Griffin coming to Fayetteville. She was like, And then I look up and I'm like, Forest Hill Drive tour. It was already sold out. All she wanted to do was see J. Cole.
Yeah.
And the evening of the show, I went to StubHub, got 2 tickets for us for the low. And this is like 2 weeks before her birthday. And we up in the Crown. And good gracious, man. And the place was packed out. People were going to be there regardless. There's people from Alabama, California,
Yeah.
Canada.
Just-
It was incredible. And then it's like we get these tickets off of StubHub, and I'm looking like the greatest husband in the world. And then Drake comes out, and then this dude says, "I got one more guest." Y'all know who it is. That dude came out. H to the OV. I used to move. I like, oh, I like, yo, babe, we need to leave early. They might charge us to leave. It
Yo,
was
Cole is a big artist, man.
and then we found out about we didn't sign no waivers or nothing. We found out about the HBO joint afterwards. Like, oh, it's gonna be on HBO. Like, wow. Like,
Mm.
what hip hop cat had got his
No,
whole show. My bad, man. Go ahead,
think
Paul.
about what you just said. He sold out the Crown and didn't even tell us Drake or Hove is there.
Yeah.
You ain't
Yeah.
supposed to tell
You
nobody.
didn't even. He didn't even have to let him know. No, everybody else is gotten to tell. They got to tell you that
Hey
Drake and
yo,
Hove is coming out if they want to sell the
hey,
tickets.
real life, man. My wife didn't even know it was Drake. She was like, "Who is that? Is that Fetty Wap?" I'm like, no. I was yelling at her ear. I was like, "It's Drake. It's Drake." And yeah,
Yo, Cole is a big artist, man. I was out there at that Dreamville shit this year. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. He's a huge artist. He's up there with like Taylor Swift and them niggas.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
That's crazy.
what I was speaking on was just more of like, like more of like in the city, like there we need some like party. I mean, especially right now, it seemed like Fayetteville is kind of getting more like with the parties and shit. But I think we need like a better scene with the party promoters. And yeah, I think the party promoters need to be involved with the artists and like,
Well, what's your opinion on what should the artists bring to the promoters, and what should the promoters offer to the artists? Because there's all kind of different cats.
Well, I mean, the artists need to be making themselves stars. They need to be making hit records. They need to be making music videos. They need to be heavily involved on social media. They need to be doing all the shows that they can. They need to be creating an environment where people want to see them and want to be fans of them.
Hmm.
And then from that point, promoters just try to promoters they just trying to get the money. You know what I'm saying? They trying to just bring people to the venue. You know what I'm saying? That's the connect.
That's what they do. They supposed to do that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if y'all remember a while back. I was booking agent on a show that had Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, MC Light, and Houdini, and it
Mm.
probably didn't even sell out halfway through. It wasn't even half sold. It was like
That's
I think
crazy.
sometimes we got to take into account the market. Sometimes markets are just tough. An artist could go to a market and it could just be a tough market. It might not necessarily be that you know sales are
Yeah.
down or somebody
Mhm.
doesn't like the music. It just could be a tough market because Fayetteville is definitely a
Where
tough market. We're a
I
tough
think it
market.
could
uh,
be timing
uh
too, timing as well, because
Timing,
those cats went
timing.
to Wilmington, and they had a big time, sellout when they did the
And what about
Masters of the Night
price?
tour.
What about price? Are we ain't I heard nothing about pricing. Like something like how much are you willing to pay to go to a little baby show or the baby show? I'm not willing to pay too much.
man, Paul, man, Paul, I feel like all three of y'all. I feel like all three of y'all know better than I do, but pricing comes down to demand, the location. That's what it comes down to. You can't go to I don't know, somewhere North Carolina and charge people $50 for a ticket. That's not gonna happen. They ain't coming. $50 just to get into the building? Nah.
Mhm.
You gotta have the right location. Sometimes you know what? Sometimes people need to bring themselves. I'm not saying bring yourself down, but recognize where you at, man. Man, $20 a
Cater
ticket.
to the venue size. Some like every venue is not equal. Every fan
No,
base is not equal in every city. It changes.
Look,
You know,
look. The artist does not have to show up. If the artist wants, I need this just to show up, and I need this when they paying. If that ain't working out, the artist got to figure that out, man. You can't punish the people, man. You cannot. And maybe punish the people is the wrong word, but you can't do that to the people. If you're trying to get paid and the people trying to have a good time, man, we gotta be on the equal level right quick.
and really it depends on who's controlling it too, because Live Nation's going.
That
If you're doing a major tour, Live Nation is going
that
to
part. That part.
string everything
Yeah.
out. So it's not going to
Yeah.
be in the control of the artist how much everything's going to be. Now, if you're in a smaller venue, depending on what the venue is, well, even then, sometimes Live Nation's got a lot of places like Cat's Cradle or
Love Cat's Cradle. Love Cat's Cradle.
um,
The Ritz
Poorhouse,
and
Ritz,
Raleigh.
stuff like that.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Places
mm,
like that, they still may have
mm,
a chokehold on the market and on the ticket pricing. So
yeah,
unless
yeah.
it's just an intimate venue somewhere where the artist is doing it strictly out of their own pocket, then
Y'all
the
y'all
prices are what
familiar
they are.
y'all
That's
familiar
the
with Larry June? Y'all familiar with Larry
yeah.
June?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
That that cat packed out the Ritz, man. I wasn't even there. I had three friends that was there, and they were just showing me pictures. I was like, wow,
I
this
was out
dude.
there.
A word? Oh, speak
Yeah.
on it, man. Let me hear the
Now,
story, man.
we talked about that. We talked about that maybe 2 episodes ago. But
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think
I
that's the whole point of like Rock Nation and doing like a deal with Rock Nation is like, you know, it's more so like they signing you and they putting this investment into you. But the whole point of that is for you to bankroll they nonstop tour thing what they doing. But it's so I mean that's a big positive to like having a record label that's like literally your record label is also the biggest tour company as well. But even with the shows, like I said, I was out there at that Dreamville show this year. To me, man, that shit was big. Like that shit was like on some Woodstock shit. Like they literally could have said, okay,
Yeah,
we gonna do this show out here in like Bumblefuck, Kentucky, Ohio, or some shit. And nah, like, nah, just like Woodstock.
No, no,
And
yeah.
people would have flew from all over the country and all over the world to go there for that weekend
Yeah.
to
Hey, yo,
see
you're
like J.
right.
Cole and Drake and
He's
them.
can
totally right.
I
He's
can
totally right.
can I bounce off of you just real short? But there's people that really drive by the house. They really drive by the house, man.
Yeah,
They get
I
out the
seen.
car, they
Yeah.
be like, and then they jump back in the car and they go back to wherever they came from.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I just got on that X Twitter thing, but there was a guy that was hitting me up and was like he was looking for some of my older music that I don't even have, but I followed him and I seen a couple of days later, yeah, he took a picture out there in front of that Forest Hills house. Like he's like like I said, he's up there with like Taylor Swift and Beyonce and all them. Like that's like a crazy, level to
Yeah.
be on as an artist.
That's why they had to put that sign up higher across the street because people kept stealing the sign.
word,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get out, word. Damn,
Dude, if
that's
you go
hella.
on the GPS, it's a fucking, it's like a city fucking,
Landmark. Yeah.
park and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got the shit fenced in. I mean, I stayed 60 seconds down the road, didn't know it till one Thanksgiving. My sister drove me down there. I'm like, why is it fenced in? Like, people doing music videos on top of it, the roof and everything, man. I mean, it's you gotta have fanatics when people are willing to drive to say, yo, this is what Big Caz grew up at. This is what Mr. Jones grew up at. This is what Mr. J grew up at. I mean, I can only
Paul,
imagine to be at that
Paul,
moment, in life.
they 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 never been here. Well, I'm saying here, like, but they never been. They never been to the Ville. They didn't go to Westover. They ain't go to E. E. Smith. They ain't go to Terry Sanford. But man, they driving down there on a mission. Like, yeah, I'm going to J. Cole's house right now. I'm gonna climb on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I remember when I was a younger guy, a younger kid, and I would make it to New York. I mean, there was places that I wanted to go to. Like I wanted to go to the Willie Burger that like Big L and Cam and all that was talking about. I wanted to go to Shaolin. I mean, it's the same way, they fanatics, Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
glad you said that because I never, the most up top I've been is Virginia. No, DC. My cousins. I never been up top, but man, I promise you, man. I promise you, next year y'all might see Jones with the "I Love New York" T-shirt on and shit. Like
Bruh.
I'm gonna be looking like a straight out of town. I'm like, yeah, man,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, trust me, bruh. Like it's probably it's niggas from here that probably remember that nigga from the skating ring and shit. But
Hmm.
no, but I'm telling you, tens of thousands of people ride past 95 every day and point at that Fayetteville sign and be like, "Yo, that's where that Forest Hill Drive. That's where J. Cole. That's like that's right. That's that shit right there."
Mm.
People from
Mm.
all over the world, yo.
Say it again, man. Can
let
you
me
say that again?
People
People
from all over the
all
world.
over the world.
Uh,
Wow.
that's
now
a
let me
crazy
ask you
level to
this.
be on.
Back to the performances and whatnot. What do you think about the way the artists treat the fans nowadays? You think there's a disconnect with artists and fans? I mean, because they don't treat fans too well nowadays. They don't really
Depends what
care about
artist
fans.
you.
They just care about the money. They care
It
about their
depends
money
on
and
the
that's it.
artist.
I
It
don't agree
depends on
with
the
that.
artist.
I don't agree with that because
I don't
these
either.
you got to understand these people nowadays that we talking about,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to say J. Cole, but every other person aside from people like J. Cole,
Yeah.
they literally spend all day on Twitter talking to their fans, and
Okay.
they literally spend all day on Twitter. That's how you get shit like the Beehive and all that shit. They literally spend all day on Twitter talking to these people, and anybody that says anything negative, they just block them. They
Okay.
literally spend all day on Twitter, all day on Instagram talking to these people. They got crazy connection with their fans nowadays, yo. The
Man,
people
say it,
literally
man.
D
Say it.
people literally
Sheesh.
DM Cardi B and get a response from her.
Well,
Um,
and
uh,
I think
um, uh,
that's the
uh,
thing.
uh, imagine back in the days if you could have DM'd Raekwon like,
Say
yo,
it.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I think you could only
That's
do that on
crazy.
the MySpace days. Like MySpace days, you
No,
might could have
yeah.
no.
got away with that, but
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
yeah,
Listen,
MySpace
listen.
was the first time you could do that. But yeah, like
yeah,
back then when people was first coming up on MySpace, like Soldier Boy,
Oh,
Nicki
boy,
Minaj, Drake, and people were able to like connect with them. That was incredible, yo.
yeah.
I mean, I got a
Yeah.
couple collabs from
man.
MySpace, like a couple collabs
Yeah.
that I didn't get a chance to do from MySpace from some bigger artists. But yeah,
But I,
Go ahead,
man, my
Jones.
bad, man.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just over here reacting, man. I don't even want to talk, but I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
But
And
that's
I
that,
It
that,
just
that
to
that's
me,
that's what the real fans are, like the real
yeah,
fanatics. Like the media be attacking people. Like I mean, a big part of like what social media is, as far as like when you're an entertainer, is the media attack people. And like these people like literally go to war for these artists. Like they'll dox like reporters on Twitter. They really ride, the fans really ride for like what's that girl name? What's the girl name? Nicki Minaj. What's Nicki Minaj squad? They really ride for her.
for the
And they
Barbies.
literally they talk to her on
yeah,
Twitter all day. They
there you
talk
go.
back and forth.
Yeah, I think. Well, would you say it's more connection or interaction? Because I think sometimes depending
Uh
on who it is, sometimes it could be interaction, but not necessarily real connection.
I think it could be a little bit of both. I
a
think
little
people
bit,
can
probably a little bit
reckon.
of both. Probably a little bit of both. Yeah.
Great question. That's
But that's a great question. No, that's a great question. Is could it be just the economy's fucked up right now, man?
no,
That
man.
everybody can't just
People,
afford to spend two
that's
hundred
that.
dollars on the tickets.
What
I
I'm
said
telling
no,
you,
but
listen,
I think it's part of it. It's part of it, man.
I mean, because if they're
One,
so
one, one.
connected with the fans, why are the ticket sales declining?
again,
Because people.
I went to that motherfucking Dreamville Fest, and I don't mean to cut you off. I went to
We're
No,
not
that.
you
talking about J.
good.
I
Cole.
I
We're not
want to
talking
hear
about
it. I
J.
want to hear it.
Cole.
No, no, no. Let him
yo,
tell the story. Let's go.
I went to that Dreamville Fest. I remember like a week or two before it when those
Uh,
tickets were like 300 a piece. The $300
Ooh,
tickets were like it was
I
three
couldn't
hundred
afford it.
dollars to like be like on the lawn and not have a place to sit at for
wow.
literally 48 hours. There was like $300, and I was like, well, damn, I'll just get one when I get out there. By the day when it was finally ready to go, like probably like 2 days before they were at 450 a piece. That was just for the ground tickets, and they sold out. They literally sold out 2 days before. I went out there, it was nothing but 22, 23, 24 year olds out there. People got money.
Yeah.
People have motherfucking money.
I think
When you see when they be like Taylor Swift
Yeah.
and Beyonce charging $1,400 for those tickets, it's not the fact that they charging $1,400 for those tickets. They charging $1,400 and them shits sell out in 12 hours. People
Run it
got
up.
bread, yo. People got
yeah,
money, yo.
So
I think certain
Mm.
people do have money, and I think certain things are uh, there are events. Like if you see Beyonce, you see a Taylor Swift, you see something like that, you see go to a Dreamville Fest. That's an event, so people want to go put out money for that. They're not just going to put out money
yeah.
for any 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 specific concert. And the economy does kind of play a, a,
Yeah,
a small
100%.
piece into it, but it's like
I
anything.
like what you said.
You
I'm
know,
writing that down.
the if you had grandparents or whatever, they used to talk about penny candy. Well, candy ain't less than $1 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything goes up eventually. Everything goes up eventually. So
Yeah,
it does price some people out of it.
yeah. Economy is bad. It's tons of inflation, but people going to pay for what they want to pay for. And like you said, that even probably really even go back to the music and the quality of it. Like
Man, please
That's where we're going.
go,
It seems
yeah.
like
go,
that's
go,
it.
go.
Quality.
Yes, go, go, go,
Keep going.
go. Oh, you going there?
Yeah,
My.
because
Mm.
people, they don't like you said that Dreamville Fest. People literally save up, during the year for that to get their hotel and everything. But I mean, like you said, a lot of these other, and that's because it's an event. Like you said, it's an event. It's a special occasion. I mean, no disrespect to the little baby. I love little baby, but you mentioned little baby earlier. It may not be that type of event. It may be something like, nah, I can pass on that shit. It ain't really all. It ain't really that serious. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I like what
Yeah.
you said. I like what you said. Just like 30 seconds ago. Real fresh. Real fresh. It's like let's go back to the 80s. I love the DeBarge family, but how much of they tickets compared to the Jacksons is the price, man. You're gonna have to pay, and
Yeah.
their price back then in the '80s is definitely not the price right now. But man, you probably could have saw the Jacksons for like $70 in 1987, and you probably could have seen the DeBarges, who are made great music. They are dope. Well, you probably could have seen them for like half the price. Man,
Yeah.
man, imagine that price right now, man. Let's go ahead and do the currency right now. Oh goodness, man. Man, my mom and dad couldn't afford no Jackson tickets. Me and my sister was screaming. We was like, "Yo, mama, no, oh, mom, can we see the Jacksons?" My mom was like, "Here, take this album, play it on the record player. You ain't going to the show." Yeah, man, this is big time right here, man. Everybody ain't going to Beyonce show.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't going to Taylor Swift show, man. Sometimes you got to stay in your room and listen to the record.
And I wouldn't even want to, like, to be honest, like if somebody gave me a ticket to a Beyonce concert, I probably wouldn't even use it because I wouldn't want to go. And then I'm thinking like, damn, you know how crazy it's gonna be. And like
You would,
I'm not trying to get into all that shit. And I like Beyonce. I got a lot of respect for her, but it's just not
but
what
you
I'm into. But
different. But you different. Do you make songs?
yeah, I mean, if you gave me
Uh,
I make songs, and if you gave me the tickets to like give me the tickets to an Onyx concert, I'm going to that shit. But yeah, I make
oh,
songs. You know what I'm
take him out, bring him out dead. Shot
saying?
him up, shot him up, shot a ball head. All right, one gun, two gun, three. All right, got it. All right, never mind. All right, yeah.
So, like I
I
said,
mean,
I mean, as far as the conversation we having, I don't think it's really too much of a disconnect with like the show sales and the record sales or anything. I think everything just is what it is. Shit changes, and the time that we in, and the moment that we in, and the events that's going on in those moments are just what they are. Just
yeah.
I try not to spend too much time trying to figure it out too, because you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just
Man,
especially if you're an artist, you just got to do you. You got
Yeah,
to create.
exactly.
You got to create. You can't worry about what is and what isn't, because you'll be
Yeah,
chasing everything, and once you keep chasing, you'll be lost. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I I don't know if y'all think about it, but I'd be like, man, I'm not trying to sound like the old man. Like, oh damn, you sounding old, like man. This wasn't on the radio back in my day. Like, you
Yeah,
old, Uncle Jones.
nah.
Like, damn, Uncle, you washed. Like, word nephew. All right, yeah.
Nah, I embrace age. I mean, age. I mean, it come with a lot of things. I mean, the only bad part about it is your body breaking down. But other than your body, everything else get better. Like your brain gets so much better. I mean, even making music. Like, I mean, you can make music so better because, like I said, you get more experience and seasoned in it. But like I said, I recognize and understand that people are at a different, when you're like 17, 18 years old, you're in a different world. Like, you don't even, the rest of the world don't even exist, and I'm not in that era right now. Like, I was
Nothing.
at one point. You know what I'm saying? I just understand it. You know what I'm saying? And try not to really worry about it too much.
You know,
Okay.
my my parents listen to some dope music, and I love that. I love it. My parents, and I'm sure y'all family. My parents brought in the '70s, '60s, '50s, '40s. You know, some people they think about Teddy Pendergrass with some '80s, '70s stuff, but man, this dude was Teddy Pendergrass was part of a whole group. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. That's the group he was a part of. Man, they made a song. Your mind is here with me. No, your body's here with me, but your mind is on the man, I used to listen to that stuff. Man, I was 7 years old. Like, yeah, this is dope. You know, just
Yeah.
just listening to stuff, man. My mom is more of a Prince fan than I am. My mom knew Prince and Michael Jackson way before I did.
Yeah. And my pops was a big, huge music fan. It was always like loud music playing. And I think like his
What
favorite
kind,
artist was,
man?
I'm
Yeah.
about to say his favorite artist. I want to say was a guy or group by the name of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So by the time I was an adult, I knew all of these songs like word for word. I completely knew every record, but it was still like another 10, 15 years to the point where I sat down as an adult, like 30s, and like listened to these records, and I really discovered like, damn, this guy's like literally one of the best songwriters of all time. Like I literally learned like I already knew all the songs, but when I came back listened to it as an adult myself, I understood like and Tom Petty and the Heartbreak is ill. That wasn't like no super mainstream shit back then. That would have
Mhm.
been like some abstract shit back then, but the shit was crazy when it comes to rock, yo.
What did you like more? Did you like the lyrics or the beat, or did you just like the whole complete package?
So I mean, he got a lot of crazy songs. My favorite Tom Petty song is a song called "Into the Great Wide Open." And it's like this, it's a story. The lyrics is, I mean, the lyrics are like ABC simple lyrics, but it's very deep, and it's like the story of like a young lame guy who wants to become a rock band, so he moves out to LA to like try to be an actor, and he meets a girl that's like a wild girl that turns him out and has him doing drugs and completely changes. Like this is a ill song, and I mean it's a good, I mean it's a live rock song, like he's playing the guitar in the song and all. It's crazy. The music and the lyrics is crazy. All of it's crazy, yo.
You ever think about the hook, like why he was talking about so much wild stuff, and then he gets to the hook and he's talking about all this wild stuff. Everything is wild, and he's like, into the great wide
Yeah.
open. Like he calmed it down, but there's
Yeah,
some wild stuff going
that's what I'm
on.
saying about he's a great songwriter, and it's crazy that you mentioned like what's the difference, like the beat or the lyrics, because I guess back then in that form of music, today we look at songwriters as people that write the lyrics, but then Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, they wrote the music too. So I mean, like you said, and it's levels to like the hook and everything, and even like you said, the hook is like such a like a hook from like a movie soundtrack, like into the great. But if you come then but then the beat changes for the verses, and like you said, it gets more monotone, and he's
Hmm.
literally like almost rapping at that point. He's not really rapping, he's like just talking, but it's like the swag is like a rap swag. It's like an incredible song, but yeah, it's incredible music, man. Like I said, and I know, like I said, like you said, when my pops was like maybe like 23, that would have been like some crazy, like that would have been like on the equivalency of like him having the new Mob Deep. Like it was
Yo,
that crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
man, my bad, y'all. Hey, yo, Paul, you started this. Peace, Mr. J. But I always try to think, like, what was my dad feeling when he heard some song for the first time? Because everything I hear from my dad or my mom or my uncle, it's secondhand. It's like, yeah, I was listening to this. Now you listen to it. I'm like, damn. But
Yeah.
man, you was like 17. You was 20 something listening to this. Just shit sounds, sound pretty nice. But
Yeah. And like you
word.
say, y'all are family, man. Y'all talk about family and kids. Imagine, you bringing your kid the new Onyx. He probably thinks like he don't know what to think
Yeah,
about
what is
that,
this?
yo.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
the new Onyx, but like the Onyx that we was fucking with back then.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, yo, I just gotta
Also,
say, shout out to all y'all, man. This is a real dope conversation. I appreciate y'all.
I want to
Definitely, man. Love
chime
y'all,
in.
man.
I think
Indeed.
partially we one thing we don't bring up is everybody can't stay on top forever. Like I constantly bring up the little baby because little baby was one of the cats they kept talking about ticket sales dropping. And I remember a time when they were saying he was the hottest dude in the game.
He's
For like
I
young
didn't
about a
really
though.
year,
feel
for about two
yeah,
years, yep.
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't really feel
He's
that way,
young.
but they said he was the hottest dude in the game. And I think, sometimes you just can't always be the hottest dude in the game forever. You can't have that Cool J, or as Biden would say, LLJ
Yeah, that's
Cool
really
J,
cool.
LLJ Cool J. You can have that LLJ Cool J longevity, and there's levels to this shit. Cole was, like you said, Cole was on another level. He's got his own fucking festival. He's on Woodstock level. I mean, what other rappers got their own festival like Cole?
He ain't gotta drop an album
Drake,
never.
Drake got one
Drake,
called like the
Drake.
OVO Fest,
Mhm.
but still
OVO.
like no
What about
disrespect
Travis
to
Scott?
Drake, but I
Travis
think the
Scott?
OVO Fest, Dreamville is like this over the OVO Fest, to be honest. I think
It
because
is. It is.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jay Z's got Made in
Uh,
America. Roots got the Roots
I
Picnic.
got I gotta take a break. I'll be right back.
I
And
ain't gonna lie.
then I think
Where my
just
headphone go?
little brother just started up the, I guess, the little
Yo,
brother picnic
hey,
thing. So I don't know.
yo,
We'll see.
mad
We'll see
respect,
how that
mad,
happens.
But
respect you for
but
saying
like you
that. They
know,
did
we
Made in Durham. They did Made in Durham. Yeah,
mm,
my bad. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
out.
my
Jones, you
bad.
can't be walking off the camera and trying to take over the conversation, man.
Man, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
I had
Nah, but you know, recently we talked about that the Jake the LL Cool J the Rock the Bells. I think at some point that'll be like 20 years from now. That'll be like a crazy festival, yo.
Right.
Yeah.
Does he got a
I
festival for that?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
yeah,
I think
that's
like
what he's
20,
talking
but I'm
about.
saying like 20
it's
years
in New
from
York.
now, 20 years from now, that'll be some shit where it's gonna be like Coachella. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying?
I feel you on that. Why? Do you do? Let me ask you a question. Do you trust LL? I trust L. He's never done nothing. He's never done nothing like this before. Never. And it looks like the first run is going pretty damn good. Looks like
I
it's going
love
pretty.
LL. The only reason I don't trust LL is because he the type of nigga that after you do the song, he'll go back and change his verse, and that's some bitch move. That's some shit that a bitch rapper would do. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I was on camera. Damn.
But I love
Uh,
LL though. I'm just joking. That's just a joke, yo.
Tell the shorty with the big mouth to bank his clothes. Like, damn, L. You gonna do canvas like that? He ain't here.
oh my god.
All right, we got a few more minutes. Anything y'all want to touch on?
Hey, Mike fights. Mike fights is this Sunday. I will be a judge on Mike fights.
What's that? You got
What's
a
Bag
that?
link?
Boulevard.
Shout out to Suge
Battle
Diddy.
shot.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Suge Diddy.
yeah. Be my second time being a judge out there.
Wait,
Yeah. Uh,
what part of
What's the line?
Boulevard? What part of Boulevard? Yeah, it's a lot of
uh,
questions coming at you.
eh, what was it? 56. I don't want. I don't want to get it messed up, but it's towards.
Is it at Zaza? Is it like by that Zaza shopping center?
I think so. I think that's it.
It's across the street from the Tropical, right?
Um,
That's
I think
man, you
so.
wild man. That's where I used to live at.
So
I used to live right
that's
up the
further
street
down the
from the
street from
tropical.
me.
But shout out to Suge Diddy, man. I went to one of those and that I you know the one that they had like when I first got back. That shit was crazy.
Oh no, he went out. What's that, Jay? What's that about though? The mic fights.
Yeah,
We
what's
lost
going
Cass.
on?
Basically, his
What's
battles. He's got his. I don't know exactly who's the lineup. But he tries to have different events every few months, and he's been bringing folks out. And last time I went and judged, it was definitely a dope battle. Um, I got some footage. I'm probably going to get some more footage this time too,
hey yo, hey
for the
yo,
documentary. But
hey yo, hey yo,
I look
Mr.
forward to
J.
hearing them lyrics.
Hey yo, Mr. J. You
Yep.
were so humble. You really slid in. Yeah, I was a judge. Man, you know what it takes to be a judge? You gotta know your stuff. You ain't gotta perform. You like, yo, Mr. J, can you be a judge? Tell me if these dudes are dope. That's dope, man. Word.
Yeah, man.
Well,
I love watching the battles and stuff like that, man. And it's definitely a unique skill to make sure your lyrics are on point, responding to an individual either before or
Mm,
after, and maybe having to change up
mm,
some things. You know what I'm saying? It's
mm.
and Sugar always tries to have his stuff together and really try to bring people out, and people
Hey,
should really support what he's doing.
hey, yo, Mr. J. Hey, yo, Paul. Do you mind?
go ahead. We about to
Hey, yo,
wrap it up here soon. We
hey,
got
yo,
about hit the hour mark.
Mrs. J, man, say the name and location again, man. Promote it. Let's go. Let's get it.
So
Let's
Mike
go.
fights on Bragg Boulevard. It's starting at 8 o'clock. Right across from the Tropical.
And you said that's
It's
tomorrow,
8 to 10. Sunday, 8 to 10.
Sunday. Anybody that I know that was there at the last one, like
Um,
performing?
I'm not sure who's gonna be. I know Cool Ass Unc's supposed to be out there.
Damn, he
He's
got
supposed to be
some
performing.
lyrics.
He's supposed to be
We needed
performing.
Cool ass.
We need to get
God
Stranger the Great.
damn.
We need to get Stranger the Great out there, man. We got to get Stranger the Great out there on some mic fights. All right, so we about to wrap it up here, fellas. We about to hit the hour mark. Anything we all want to shout out before we go?
I wanna shout out Mrs. J. I wanna shout out Big Cass. And I wanna shout out my brother that I met in the trailer park. My man, Paul Masson. You know? Never spell Jones with a Z, always S. Me and P come together like the ultimate best, and that's word.
And
That's what we
shouts
do.
out to Big Face. He's out there at the bare knuckle fight and whatnot. And once again, rest in peace to DJ Mark, the 45 King. We
Peace to
would
the
not
Yeah.
be a hip
45
hop
King.
news culture
Yeah.
and more channel if we
40,
did not say
40,
rest in peace to DJ Mark, the 45 King.
45 King did it for everybody. Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature. He did that. He did that, man.
Yep. And remember, Underground Experience, November 18th.
Oh,
Go get your tickets.
All right,
go get
fellas,
your
we about
Artist
to
tickets,
wrap
Block,
yo.
it up.
Greensboro.
Hey, yo,
All right,
Big Cass. Respect, man. All right, he going
we
again.
lost him. We
All
lost
right.
him again. All right, well, we'll have Kaz on next week again too, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later, fellas.
All right.
All
All
right,
right,
one.
P. Peace, Mr. J.
Peace.